In this chapter, we'll explore the world of subscriptions and how they can impact your financial well-being. We'll take a closer look at the types of subscriptions that could be draining your bank account and provide practical tips for identifying and canceling the ones you don't need. Number 1. Types of subscriptions to consider canceling. Are you feeling suffocated by the never-ending stream of subscription services piling up on your credit card statement? Are you tired of paying for things you don't even use or care about? Well, it's time to take a deep breath and start cutting some of these subscriptions loose. In this chapter, we'll dive into the various types of subscriptions that you might consider canceling. Let's start with the ones that are most likely to take up a sizable chunk of your budget. First on the list, we have streaming services, a seemingly innocent way to pass the time, but can add up quickly if you're subscribing to multiple platforms. Next, we have gym memberships, which often go unused or forgotten, yet still charge you every month. Magazine and newspaper subscriptions might have been a great way to stay informed, but with the rise of free online content, it's worth reconsidering their value. Subscription boxes can be fun and exciting, but the novelty wears off quickly, and they can end up being an unnecessary expense. Finally, music and audiobook services might seem like a great way to stay entertained, but there are plenty of free or lower-cost alternatives available. Number 2. How to identify subscriptions you may not need or use. Are you guilty of blindly signing up for subscription services only to forget about them later? Or perhaps you're afraid to cancel a subscription because you're unsure if you'll need it in the future. Don't worry, you're not alone. Many of us fall into the trap of accumulating subscriptions over time without ever stopping to assess their value. In this chapter, we'll explore how to identify subscriptions you may not need or use, so you can start cutting back on unnecessary expenses. Here are some tips to get you started. Review your credit card and bank statements. This is the easiest way to identify recurring charges that you might have forgotten about. Evaluate your usage. Take a closer look at the subscriptions you're currently paying for and ask yourself if you're using them enough to justify the cost. Consider the alternatives. Are there free or lower-cost alternatives to the subscriptions you're paying for? For example, can you borrow books from the library instead of paying for a monthly audiobook service? Think about your goals. Do your current subscriptions align with your financial goals? If not, it might be time to cancel them and redirect those funds towards something that will help you achieve your objectives. Conduct a trial run if you're unsure about canceling a subscription. Consider pausing or canceling it for a month or two to see if you really miss it. By using these strategies, you can start identifying subscriptions that you may not need or use, and begin taking action to cut back on unnecessary expenses. Let's move on to the next chapter to explore how to cancel those subscriptions and start saving money. Number 3. Strategies for canceling subscriptions. Now that you've identified the subscriptions that you no longer need or use, it's time to take action and start canceling them. But how can you do so without feeling guilty or worried that you might miss out on something important? In this chapter, we'll explore some strategies for canceling subscriptions and making the process as painless as possible. Here are some tips to help you get started. Check the cancellation policy before canceling a subscription. Review the terms and conditions to see if there are any penalties or fees associated with canceling early. Contact customer service if you're having trouble canceling a subscription online. Try reaching out to the company's customer service department. They may be able to assist you or offer additional incentives to keep you as a customer. Use cancellation services. There are third-party services that can help you cancel subscriptions with ease. For example, Trim and Truebill are services that will review your accounts for recurring charges and cancel unwanted subscriptions on your behalf. Consider pausing instead of canceling if you're unsure about canceling a subscription altogether. Consider pausing it instead. Many subscription services offer this option, allowing you to take a break without losing your account or payment history. Take note of cancellation dates. Make sure to mark down the date you canceled a subscription to avoid any unexpected charges. You can also set reminders for yourself to reevaluate subscriptions periodically. By using these strategies, you can make the process of canceling subscriptions less daunting and more manageable. Remember, every canceled subscription is one step closer to achieving your financial goals. So go ahead and take that first step. Your wallet and future self will thank you. Number 4. Tips for avoiding future unnecessary subscriptions. Regularly review your subscriptions. Set aside time each month or quarter to review your subscription accounts and evaluate whether they are still necessary or worth the cost. Be mindful of free trials. Free trials can be tempting, but they often require you to enter your payment information up front. Be sure to cancel before the trial period ends if you don't plan on continuing the service. Avoid automatic renewals when signing up for a new subscription. Opt out of automatic renewals if possible. This will prevent the subscription from renewing automatically without your knowledge. Use prepaid cards. Consider using prepaid cards to pay for subscriptions instead of your regular credit or debit card. This way, you can limit the amount charged to the card and avoid any unexpected charges. Monitor your bank statements. Keep an eye on your bank statements regularly to ensure that there are no unexpected charges or unauthorized subscriptions. By implementing these tips, you can avoid future unnecessary subscriptions and prevent unwanted charges. Being mindful of your subscriptions can save you money and help you reach your financial goals faster. So take control of your finances and make sure every subscription counts towards your financial well-being. Subscribe now to join us tomorrow for day 10 of our 30-day savings challenge, where we'll be exploring how to turn your clutter into cash. Selling tips that work. We'll provide you with even more unique and creative tips to help you achieve your financial goals. See you then.